All right, everybody, buckle up for this one because this is going to be a bumpy ride and it's also going to be a long ride because the Wednesday injury report slash practice report for both the Cleveland Browns and the Seattle Seahawks is now out. And it's going to take us a while to get through it. You can see it on the screen here. You can already tell this is going to take a while to push through. And there's some not so good news here for both teams as of right now. Now, the good news is it's Wednesday. Things can change very quickly. But as of right now, this is a gauntlet that both teams are going to have to push through during this week if they want to have even a remotely healthy roster come game day. So let's start with the Seattle Seahawks side of things. So let me go ahead and scroll down here since that's what most of you are here for anyway. And you can see it takes up the full screen right here. It's big. It's there's where do we start with this one? Okay, so let's start with the DNPs because some of these DNPs are pretty harmless. We have a few here that are clearly rest related. Jamal Adams did not practice, but that's mostly due to rest. Draymond Jones did not practice, but that was purely related to rest. Jaron Reed did not practice, but that was also related to rest. So, hey, we can at least push those ones out of the way. So those are your harmless DNPs. The DNPs that might actually mean something for this upcoming game include Phil Haynes, not practicing with a calf injury. Tyler Lockett, not practicing with a hamstring injury. Both of those things are carryovers from last week. Of course, Uchenna Nwosu, but at this point, we all know that he's going to go on IR at some point. Whether it's short term or long term, he's going to be out for the rest of the regular season. We also had Bobby Wagner show up with an ankle injury, missing practice today. And K9. K9 did not practice with a calf injury. And both of those are new, I believe. Those were not present on the injury report last week. So this is something that has happened in the last few days. Now, again, it is Wednesday. I don't think there's any need to be alarmed about any of this. I would be very surprised right now if Wagner or Walker missed this upcoming game. But I do look at Phil Haynes with a little bit of concern because he missed the last game. Just because in theory he should get better doesn't mean he will get better. And honestly, Lockett, there's got to be a little bit of concern there because this is something that seems like it's not just going away. It is a hamstring, right? Hamstring injuries, you never know how long they're going to take. So that's your status regarding the DNPs. It's not the worst, but there's definitely some stuff to be concerned about as we get into the rest of the week. So now let's take a look at the guys who are limited. And once again, there are a lot of players here. Now, limited is not the worst thing on a Wednesday. If you're limited on Wednesday, you've got a very good chance of being able to play on Sunday. Nevertheless, we should at least be a little bit aware of concerns with Jordan Brooks, limited with a calf injury. He's new to the injury report. Evan Brown was limited with his hip injury. Now, the fact that he's limited on Wednesday means he's probably going to be good to go by game day, but this could be a Phil Haynes situation where he shows that he's not ready to come back today, and then the next 2 days he doesn't practice, so we're going to need more information. Charbonnet also limited with a hamstring injury. So remember, Charbonnet didn't practice at all last week, so therefore the fact that he's able to practice at all is very encouraging for his ability to get back onto the field come game day. So looks like at least a lot of these guys are coming back. Noah Fant was limited with a toe injury, but again, I have little doubt that he's going to play. You had two guys who just recently got reactivated to the roster who were listed as limited off an injury. We've got Faulu, nose tackle. Probably not somebody who's going to be activated on game day anyway, even if he is healthy. But if he would be, if, say, something happened with Cam Young, he is limited right now with a knee injury, probably eligible to play, capable of playing on Sunday, but I don't believe he will be because we don't need a third nose tackle right now. I'm not seeing that need. The other guy would be Kenny McIntosh, who was limited with a knee injury. This is his first practice back since being activated, so the fact that he's able to practice at all is very encouraging. Wouldn't surprise me if he's not active for this game because he needs time to work his way back, but he's close, and that's ultimately what matters here. So Kenny McIntosh making his way back, the fact that he's able to get on the practice field at all means he's very close. And All that's left now are the guys who practiced in full despite having some degree of injury. These are guys that you rarely have to worry about. Anthony Bradford, elbow, practiced in full. Trey Brown, toe injury, practiced in full. Artie Burns, hamstring, practiced in full. Jake Curhan practiced in full with that ankle injury from a couple weeks ago. Damian Lewis, ankle injury, full practice. Doesn't seem to be any worse than it was last week, and he played last week. And maybe the big one here, DK Metcalf. Full practice despite still being listed with the ribs or robs. I don't know what a rob is, but it's a part of the body, I guess, and a hip injury. So he's clearly on the way back. It would be a pretty big shock at this point if he didn't play. So when you break it all down, it's not the end of the world, but this is a very intimidating injury list to look at when you start your week. There's no way around it. There are well over 20 guys listed here, so we're going to have to see how the rest of the week goes, but most of this stuff is stuff that we already kind of knew about and is trending the right way. Okay, now we go to the Cleveland Browns side of things. Let's kind of try to break it down in a similar way. I know this is laid out a little bit funky, but let's start with the DNPs because, like us, the Browns also have several DNPs that are probably not meaningful. Joel Bitonio is a DNP today, but it's rest related. Amari Cooper did not practice, but mostly rest related. And Smith, their edge rusher, not injury related with his DNP. I believe that's, what's his first name? Zadarius Smith? I think it's Zadarius Smith. Not injury related, rest. So those three guys should be good to go. Those are three of their key players, or at the very least, relatively important players. So those guys not practicing is a whatever, but we do have some significant guys listed here. You've got Jerome Ford, the running back, who is going to have a big role on this team going forward because they do not have Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt also did not practice with a thigh injury. So they are down to the nub at running back already. And if they don't get a couple of these guys back, honestly, probably both of these guys back, it might be Pierre Strong Jr. season, the fourth string running back come Sunday. So Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt, we got to monitor their situations very closely as we move through this week. Marquise Goodwin did not practice. He's got that back injury right now, our old buddy Marquise Goodwin. So we'll have to see where that goes. We know that Goodwin struggles with injury, so it wouldn't be a shock if he couldn't go. David Njoku did not practice with a knee. I would expect him to play, but as of right now, there has to be at least a little bit of concern. And I already mentioned this one earlier today because it was such a significant piece of news, but Deshaun Watson did not practice and has already been declared out. They also have one of their backup linebackers, Taki, which is a really cool name, by the way, out of practice, at least with a hamstring injury, so going to have to keep an eye there. So there's a lot going on this Cleveland injury report right now. They have some real problems. They could be down to a backup quarterback and a fourth string running back like that. And what do they do in that situation? It's not pretty. Limited practice participants include Okoronkwo, I believe is how you pronounce that, with a rib injury. He'll probably be ready to go by game day. They've got Anthony Walker, shoulder injury, one of their linebackers, limited, but I imagine he'll go. And you've got Wills, their starting tackle. He's got a couple of dings on his lower body, but limited on Wednesday means likely going to be able to go on game day. And then they've got a few guys who are totally fine, like Harrison Bryant, their backup tight end, a backup linebacker, Fields, practiced in full, and Wright had concussion protocol, but it looks like he's going to be good to go because, again, practiced in full. So that took a while to get through. There was a lot to dive into there, but tomorrow will hopefully be a lot cleaner. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Going to go live on Twitch. It's going to be the horror video game week over on Twitch for me, so if you like horror games, come watch.